Hello and welcome to Race 20, the penultimate race of this multiplayer championship with me at The Real TomTom on YouTube, and it's Brazil. It's going to be a good race. Now, the main problem we have is that qualifying was in the wet, and as we all know, my speed and skill in the wet is pretty ropey. Although I do like Brazil as a circuit. I'm not the fastest there by any means, but I do like Brazil, and by the end of the race I was actually getting into a bit of a rhythm and got a reasonable lap time. Again, still nowhere near as good as anyone else, but I was pleased, which is essentially all I'm worried about at the moment. So here we go with the race. I'm on the hard-walled tyre in last place at 7, and this is also the problem, is a lot of people have dropped out of the championship. Now we've gone on and the race is nearing the end. It's nowhere near as many people as we started with, which is a shame because it's good fun, but it does mean that now I am regularly scoring points because I stuck around, because I am one of the last people here. I am scoring points even if I crash out, so that's good. Well, it's good for me. So it was a fairly clean start and essentially a fairly dull race. I enjoyed the game, I enjoyed the race, but with less people there is a lot less going on, and with everyone else being that much faster than I am being, you can see here how quickly I've been dropped. The other people whose tyre wear and tyre usage is affected more sort of simulation wise than mine is, the people who put on this sort of super soft tyres whatever and actually do a super fast lap, whereas my lap times are pretty much consistent no matter what the tyre is I'm using, then what you find here at the end is that those people with like the mediums on have gone a lot further and a lot faster and sort of breaking away. So there you go. The leader has just got a 1:18. I put in here a 1:27.2. So almost like a full 10 seconds. I overcooked that corner. I say fighting against Dean. It was never going to happen. He was much quicker than me anyway. But just kind of trying to give space, get up into that corner, and I was just not doing so well. So here we go. Lap 12. Nothing happened in that time. I think, well, nothing happened for me. Crazy Legs there, the old leader, the guy that just got his 1:18, crashed out. I'm not quite sure why. But he crashed out, so I've gone up from 7th to 6th. So again, this is a good point score for McLaren this season. I am, however, on 42% tyres, and they are starting to wear. So I decide at this point to give it another maybe lap or 2 laps before going for the pits. I'm not doing terribly on the tyres with this kind of wear rate. What I do decide to do, I don't know whether you see it happen or whether I just did do it in the laps that were missing, is when I was choosing what to pit to and all that kind of stuff, I've changed my downforce because I set the car up for the wet weather race that it was going to be, but then the race itself wasn't in the wet, so my downforce is exceptionally high. But now it is hampering me a little, so I've changed my downforce to be sort of the complete opposite because it said it's not going to rain this race. Also, it looks cloudy, but it is meant to clear up, and I think it does get brighter as the race goes on. So it's now a question of making the best use of the tyres that are available. Brazil, I think, is a really good circuit, except for that corner there. It is not a very nice corner. It's just to get the most out of the speed from it. I can never get the braking point right, and again by the end I do a little bit better. So my best at the moment, as you can see, is now a 1:17.9. That last lap for letting the blue flag through is a 1:21. So I'm not a consistently fast person, and when you get that last corner right, it really does help the rest of the lap. It's amazing how each corner really does kind of make or break the overall time of a lap. So there you go. Dean is now up to a 1:13, which is a phenomenally fast time. I think the record of my kind of friend group on the PlayStation is about a 1:11 for this. So again, that's something I'd aspire to, but I don't think I'll ever be able to hit. However, obviously in a race with the fuel loads and all that, it's going to be slower on average than what you do in the sort of time trial mode. So I'm now on the medium tyre. The race leader, I think, is on the soft tyres. He's gone for a different strategy. Some people, though, and I think Shinny uses a sort of a wheel. I think he's a lot softer on his tyres than I am anyway, even if I guess he's using a pad. But he is a lot quicker and a lot smoother and a lot less on tyre wear. So I am currently, I think it was about 2 minutes down on sort of 5th place. I get lapped a lot of times, but mostly in the pits. So I didn't really see many people this time around. I had a few blue flags, but I got lapped mostly when I went in for my pit stops and didn't see people out on track. So in one respect, again, it's good for me getting points, but it does get to be sort of fairly dull with no kind of fight or excitement that could be happening as the race progresses, and sort of no one else around my level sort of stuck around to give me a little bit of something to do, or for them, when on their bad days, giving them me to overtake again, which most of the time they did. I had a few, I think, where they didn't, but most of the time they'd overtake me again, and that's fine. As I've always said, this for me is just a bit of fun. Get out there, get a little bit better, and I do feel that I've got better as the championship has progressed. The problem I have is that those at the top are still progressing themselves, but in one respect it will be a different learning curve. So there's going to be a finite sort of stop to how good the best people in the world could get at this game, whereas people like me have a lot of improvement to do. He says absolutely stonking it onto that first corner. There is a lot of room for me to improve and get better. I am in that two-mind of investing in a steering wheel for this, but I'm not sure whether after this championship how many more there's going to be. I'm sure I know there's plenty of championships around the world that will take place, but in one respect I don't think I'd want to do it with many people that I didn't know, excuse me, there are many people that I want to do it with that regularly, because you either try and find people who are just as terrible as you, and that makes it sort of more fair, I guess, or for the most part people who do league races tend to be much better, which is good to bring you up, but it still serves a problem of you having to just always, like I do, sit at the back, driving around the track, having fun on a Thursday evening, but not ever getting much better. So that was a 1:20.93 seconds on my fastest lap. I think I've left in my very last lap, which is my fastest, where I'm able to run a little bit faster on the fuel mix. I have the tyre wear, but we shall see. I am currently on lap 21 of 36. I think this might be my next quickest lap, so this is a reasonable lap. I am doing as much as I can to push, even though my fuel mix is on lean. I think sometimes, I don't know whether you find this, where if you're on a high mix and you're not very good at the game, you carry more speed into the corners, but then your kind of apex and all that is compromised because you're trying to brake later on. Whereas if you're on lean, you're slower into it all, but actually that kind of gives you a more consistently fast lap time. So here we go, yeah, so my engine fuel mix is lean, but I'm now 0.2 of a second faster than my previous best time. And again, I think I do get a better time this time round, and I'm due to do a pit stop fairly soon as well. So so 0.247 split, so I got 1:17.565. So the tyre wear again now is at 42%, so it's time to come round and go into the pits again and get some fresh set of tyres. My rear tyre's not too bad. It is the front ones that are worst off. And I think for the strategy I've gone, it's going to be hard, medium, medium. So it's now on for another set of medium tyres. I don't think a set of softs would have served me all the way to the end of the race. So another set of mediums means I get through. There you go. You can see I get lapped again while being in the pits. I've turned my fuel mix up to rich. I've got a couple of laps worth of fuel to really sort of give it a go for my own personal benefit of being faster over one lap in a race on a new set of tyres. There was 10 laps to go. So here we are, now it's 31 and 36, so I've done a few laps. I've got a little bit of tyre wear, still on a 1:17.556. I was 1:18, so I was almost 2 whole seconds slower. Again, it's always the first and last corner in Brazil that I lose the flow. I sort of overbrake. I don't know, because it's kind of like the Laguna Seca where you're coming up the hill and then you're dropping down in the sort of the left hand and right hander. It's the same sort of situation in Brazil, not as defined, but it's that kind of coming up the straight into that sort of braking for a left hander that drops down and falls away from you to the right. It's just sort of making sure you get your braking right. But these corners I quite enjoy. They're quite fast, they're quite fluid, and you can get them right. It's also at the moment me learning more about getting the apexes just right, not overcorrecting too much, and doing it smoothly. And as I say, I'd really like to try a steering wheel without having to invest £150 to see what happens. But for now, I am pleased that I'm still enjoying it. I do like these games. I've always liked all the Formula 1 games, all the ones that Codemasters made, but also the ones previously. One of my favourites actually was on the PlayStation 3, made by Studio Liverpool, called the F1 Championship Edition. That was a really, really good sort of Formula 1 game. So I enjoyed that one. But now Codemasters have the license. I think they're doing an absolutely sterling job with it. And each year there is an evolution with what they improve and what sometimes slips. And again, for people like me, I don't notice the big changes that annoy a lot of the sort of true fanboys of the series. And there's a lot of sort of physics and AI and bits that come and go that people get annoyed about. So I think one of the things here is people got annoyed with the safety car and how it's operated and handled, but they were calling for it to be in the game. And I think the trouble is, because of how it works, it can at times be frustrating. They want the realism of having the safety car, but actually getting that implemented is a lot more work than kind of is realised, or than the computer can handle. But each year they do try and improve. They give you new options, and so except for sort of F1 15, where it was a change the consoles and it was all stripped out to start again. I think from now on, for the next couple of years at least, I hope they are going to kind of just keep improving this. And they all obviously have the problem of, as the F1 rules change in real life, adapting to those and making the cars handle. So obviously, like this year, so far, Ferrari are doing much better and are winning races, or at least pushing sort of spots 2 and 3 a lot more than Mercedes were. And actually now, how is that going to translate into this game? How is this going to work for F1 2017 when they sort of finally release it? The wider tyres, the different wings, the different handling. For people like myself, again, with all the assists on, or at least most of the assists on, you probably won't notice too much of a difference. It will be for those people who have all the assists off, who drive without traction control, who drive without ABS brakes. Now, I don't have braking assist on, and I don't think I might have ABS on medium, but I've tried this. That's the point. I've just remembered. This is the trouble with not doing this commentary straight away and having the time to do it. But I remember this race, I was actually doing manual gears. It wasn't automatic. So this was me, because it was the end of the season and no I'd scoring points. It was my first time of actually doing a full race with manual gears. So it was good fun. My best lap there was a 1:17.556 still, so that was as best as I got. I get 6th place in the McLaren, and I'm very proud of it. So thank you very much for watching this particular video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you to all the new subscribers I've had. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch these videos and give me some comments and get involved in the comment section. Again, feel free to tweet me at @TheRealTomTom. So coming up, the last race of the season, Abu Dhabi, race 20 in the F1 2016 Championship.